Let's be real for a second. Every single day we are all in a battle. And no, I'm not talking about the fight for success, respect, or achievement. That's the external battle. The real fight is for control of your financial life. This is the battle that determines whether you live in freedom or under the crushing weight of stress. It's the fight that dictates whether you will wake up one day with the life you dreamed of, or whether you will forever be chasing it, never quite catching up. I wasn't always in control of my money. For years, I let my finances control me. I made the mistake of thinking that if I could just earn more, everything else would fall into place. But that's not how it works, is it? You could make 6 figures and still be broke if you don't master the principles of personal finance. I had to learn that the hard way. The good news? Everything can change when you learn how to manage your money properly. Financial freedom isn't something reserved for the lucky or the privileged. It's something you can build if you follow the right steps. And these steps aren't hidden. They're available to everyone willing to put in the work, to fight for control over their financial life. These are the 10 personal finance lessons that changed my life. And today they're going to change yours. Listen closely. This isn't just advice. This is your roadmap to financial freedom. Here's the first thing you need to know about money. If you don't control it, it will control you. Let me be blunt. You cannot and will not achieve financial independence without a budget. If you're not budgeting, you're flying blind. You're gambling with your financial future, hoping it will all just work out. Spoiler alert, it won't. For years, I thought budgeting was unnecessary. I thought it was something for people who were struggling. But the reality is, not having a budget is the reason so many people struggle in the first place. Your income doesn't determine your financial success. How you manage it does. You can have $1 million income, but if you're spending like there's no tomorrow, you'll still end up with nothing. Budgeting is more than just tracking expenses. It's about taking command of your financial destiny. It's about telling every single dollar where to go, instead of wondering where it went. When you sit down and build a budget, you are creating a plan for your financial success. You're saying, this is what I value, this is what I want to achieve, and this is how I'm going to get there. And here's the thing, a budget doesn't have to be restrictive. A budget doesn't mean you can't enjoy your life. It means you're intentional about your spending. You prioritize what matters and cut out the waste. It's not about deprivation, it's about freedom. Freedom from worry, freedom from stress, and freedom from living paycheck to paycheck. So how do you start? Begin by tracking every expense for a month. Yes, every single one. Then categorize your spending. Housing, groceries, entertainment, savings, debt repayment, and set limits. Adjust as needed, but stick to it. Once you start seeing where your money goes, you'll gain the power to direct it where you need it to go. I'll say this. The moment I got serious about budgeting was the moment I took control of my financial life. Suddenly, I was no longer stressed about money. I wasn't living in fear of the next bill or the next unexpected expense. I had a plan and it worked. And it will work for you too. Let me ask you something. Who are you working for? Are you working for your landlord? Your creditors? The grocery store? Because if you're not paying yourself first, that's exactly what you're doing, working for everyone else. Here's the second lesson that changed my life. Always, always pay yourself first. What does that mean? It means that before you pay any bills, before you spend a dime, you take a percentage of your income and you save or invest it. This isn't an option. It's a non-negotiable rule of wealth building. For years, I made the mistake of thinking I'd save whatever was left over at the end of the month. Guess what? There was never anything left over. Something always came up, an unexpected expense, an impulse purchase, or just the gradual erosion of my money through everyday spending. If you wait until the end of the month to save, you'll never save. But when I learned to pay myself first, everything changed. I started with just 10% of my income and I made it automatic. Before I could even touch it, that money went into savings or investments. And guess what? I didn't even miss it. In fact, it forced me to live within my means and prioritize what was truly important. Here's the key. When you pay yourself first, you're making your future a priority. You're saying, my financial security is more important than temporary satisfaction. And when you do this consistently, month after month, year after year, that money starts to grow. Suddenly, you're not just scraping by, you're building wealth. You're creating a financial fortress that no unexpected expense or downturn can shake. Don't wait. Start today. It doesn't matter if you can only save 5% right now. The key is to start and to be consistent. Over time, it will add up, and your future self will thank you. Debt is the enemy of financial freedom. Let me repeat that. Debt is the enemy. It's the chain around your neck, holding you down. keeping you from moving forward. And yet so many of us treat it like it's normal, like it's just part of life. We carry balances on our credit cards. We take out loans for things we can't afford. And we live in this constant state of owing someone else money. But here's the truth, debt is a trap. The more you rely on it, the deeper you sink. Every dollar you owe is a dollar you can't use to build your future. Every payment you make is a payment you're making to someone else, instead of investing in yourself. I used to think debt was no big deal. I thought it was just the way the world worked. Everyone had it, right? But let me tell you, the moment I made the decision to get rid of my debt was the moment my life changed. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Here's how I did it. I started by listing out every single debt I had. Credit cards, student loans, personal loans, everything. Then I attacked the one with the highest interest rate first. Every extra dollar I could find went toward paying it off. And when that was gone, I moved on to the next one. It's called the debt avalanche method, and it works. You see, debt isn't just a financial problem, it's a psychological one. When you start to see those balances go down, you feel lighter, freer, and more in control. But the key is this: once you get out of debt, stay out. Don't fall back into the trap of financing things you can't afford. If you can't pay for it in cash, don't buy it. Debt is a thief that steals your future. Don't let it. If there's one financial concept that changed my life more than any other, it's this: compound interest. Albert Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. Compound interest is the secret weapon of wealth building. It's the force that allows your money to grow exponentially over time, turning small, consistent investments into massive fortunes. Here's how it works. When you invest money, that money earns returns. Then those returns earn returns, and those returns earn returns. It's growth on top of growth. And over time, it snowballs into something much bigger than what you started with. The key to taking advantage of compound interest is simple. Start early and be consistent. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow. And the more consistent you are, the bigger that snowball becomes. I didn't understand this at first. I thought I could wait until I was making more money to start investing. But here's the thing. Time is your greatest ally when it comes to building wealth. Every day you wait to invest is a day you're losing the power of compounding. Even small amounts invested regularly can grow into something huge over time. If you haven't started investing yet, start today. It doesn't matter if it's $50 a month or $500. The key is to get started and to stay consistent. Your future self will thank you. Let me ask you this. What happens when life throws you a curveball? What happens when your car breaks down, or you lose your job, or a medical emergency strikes? Do you have a plan? Or are you going to reach for that credit card and sink deeper into debt? An emergency fund is your financial safety net. It's the buffer that protects you from falling into a financial crisis when the unexpected happens. And trust me, the unexpected will happen. Life is unpredictable, and if you're not prepared, it can knock you off course for years. Building an emergency fund was one of the smartest financial decisions I ever made. It gave me peace of mind. Suddenly, I wasn't worried about what would happen if something went wrong. I knew I had a cushion, a safety net that would keep me from falling into debt or financial ruin. How much should you save? Ideally, 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. That might sound like a lot, but start small. Set a goal to save $1,000, then build from there. The key is to get started. Every dollar you save is a dollar that protects your future. Once I had my emergency fund in place, I felt invincible. No longer was I living in fear of the next unexpected expense. I was prepared, and that made all the difference. Here's something you might not expect to hear in a financial speech. The best investment you will ever make is in yourself. That's right, you are your greatest asset. The more you invest in your skills, your knowledge, and your personal growth, the more valuable you become. We live in a world where skills and knowledge are more valuable than ever. The more you know, the more you can earn. Whether it's through formal education, online courses, or self-study, investing in yourself is the fastest way to increase your earning potential. But it's not just about learning, it's about applying what you learn. Skill development is the key to unlocking higher-paying opportunities and creating multiple streams of income. The more skills you acquire, the more valuable you become in the marketplace. I used to think that once I finished school, my education was over. But the truth is, learning never stops. The moment I started investing in myself, learning new skills, reading books, and attending seminars, my income skyrocketed. Your personal growth directly correlates to your financial growth. So here's my advice. Never stop learning. Never stop growing. The more you invest in yourself, the more you'll be able to achieve. Not just financially, but in every area of your life. We live in a world of excess. Everywhere you look, people are spending money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't even like. But here's the truth. If you want to build wealth, you have to learn to live below your means. This was a tough lesson for me to learn. I used to think that as long as I was making good money, I could spend whatever I wanted. But that mindset kept me stuck in a cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. It wasn't until I started living below my means that I began to build real wealth. Living below your means doesn't mean living in poverty. It means making smart choices about how you spend your money. It means prioritizing your financial goals over instant gratification. It means understanding that every dollar you don't spend is a dollar that can be saved, invested, and multiplied. One of the biggest traps people fall into is lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, so do your expenses. But if you want to build wealth, you have to resist that urge. Just because you can afford something doesn't mean you should buy it. The less you spend, the more you can save, invest, and grow your wealth. In today's world, relying on one source of income is dangerous. You need to create multiple streams of income. This is one of the most important lessons I've learned. Having multiple income streams gives you financial security, flexibility, and the ability to take advantage of new opportunities. There are many ways to create additional income streams: side hustles, freelance work, passive income from investments, rental properties, and more. The key is to diversify your income sources so that if one dries up, you're not left struggling. Creating multiple streams of income isn't just about making more money, it's about protecting yourself. It's about ensuring that no matter what happens in the economy or in your industry, you will always have money coming in. Here's a truth that changed my life. If you don't have clear financial goals, you're drifting. Without a target, you'll wander aimlessly, spending and saving without purpose. Setting clear, specific financial goals is the key to staying motivated, focused, and on track. When I started setting financial goals, everything changed. I wasn't just saving for the sake of saving. I was saving for something. I wasn't just paying off debt. I was working toward financial freedom. Clarity is power. The clearer your goals, the more determined you'll be to achieve them. Set goals for every aspect of your finances. Short-term goals like building an emergency fund or paying off debt, and long-term goals like retirement or buying a home. Write them down, review them regularly, and stay focused. The final lesson I learned is this: financial education is a lifelong journey. The more you learn about money, how it works, how to invest it, how to protect it, the better off you'll be. There's always more to learn. Whether it's reading books, listening to podcasts, or taking courses, you should always be expanding your financial knowledge. The more you know, the more empowered you'll be to make smart financial decisions. So here's the bottom line: your financial future is in your hands. You can choose to ignore these lessons and continue down the path you're on, or you can take action today to change your financial life forever. The choice is yours. But know this: the journey to financial freedom starts with a single step, and that step is making the decision right now, in this moment, to take control of your finances. Apply these 10 lessons consistently, and I promise you, your life will never be the same. The path to financial freedom isn't easy, but it's worth it. And the best part? It's a journey that you can start today. Are you ready? Then let's go, because your future is waiting.